Howdy, it's Alex. And my co-host, Sad Jack. Say something, Jack. Today, we were talking about episode 5 of 24. It takes place at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. Okay, we are adding a hospital hallway and a hospital bed. And a third thing, a random silver car parked in the hospital parking garage. No reason. And on this side, we got 2 additions. Police department and interrogation room number 2. New additions to our map.
The following takes place between 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. on the day of the California presidential primary.
Opens with a bunch of doctors working on Janet. She's not in a room yet. She's still in the OR, obviously. So when she's done in the OR, she'll go into her room. Jack is following the cop car with him in it. And he is cutting around corners. He's cutting off cars. He loves running around and through traffic to do what he wants because he can do whatever he wants because he's Jack Bauer. It's also 4 a.m. Nobody cares. So he is speeding, following that car. Alan and Terry get to the hospital where it's very blue for some reason. And they just start yelling at everyone. It's 4 a.m. and you walk into an emergency room and start yelling at the one nurse that's probably been there since, 8 p.m. the night before? 6 p.m.? I don't know how hospital shifts work. They're clearly understaffed and busy. She's literally on the phone, and they're like, excuse me, can you help me? And she's just like, bro, give me a second. I'm on the phone. I'm doing stuff. What are you doing besides nothing and being loud? God.
I'll be right with you.
We just called.
So they're just like, someone just came in by this name. The nurse was just like, this is like a Jane Doe. So what do you want with that? Then they just bust through the doors.
Hey! Can't go in there!
Which are open, by the way. Is that how it works? The nearest emergency room by us does not have open doors. Like, you get into the lobby. Before you get into the lobby, there's a security guard that takes your goddamn information, and then you go into the lobby. And then to get in further than the lobby, there is a locked door that someone on the other side needs to push a button to let you in. Is that a thing everywhere, or is it just some hospitals are just like, no, you can't get inside? Alan and Terry get in and identify Janet. It's also like one of those open concept kitchens where you can watch them cook, except it's, performing surgery and trying to save someone's life. Jack calls Terry, and Terry is freaking out for obvious reasons. Janet's in surgery right now. Kim is still missing, so Terry's not a happy camper right now. So Jack's just like, calm down. Tell me the exact spot where Kim was, and I'll go check it out. And then asked to speak to Janet, and Terry's like, she's in surgery. Okay, the second she's out, you need to talk to her. We all need to talk to her. I'm trying to find Kim, and Terry is just like, what are you talking about? I've been trying to find Kim. You're doing other What are you talking about? And Jack's just like,
Terry, I'm gonna explain it to you later, okay?
I've been doing I'm busy. And Jack isn't just following the car. He's like angry following the cop car. He's like, they put Kim in the back of Gaines' car. Not the trunk, back seat. Gaines just like, there's a change of plans. Head to the compound. So Gaines gets in the car and drives away. Meanwhile, Rick is like, I don't like that guy. Dad's just like, why don't you shut up? Let's get it done so we can split the money and move on. Okay? How about that? Palmer, still awake. Nicole couldn't sleep. So she's in the kitchen making coffee. Making some mochas. Palmer orders Patty to just go home. You're tired. Get some goddamn rest. So she does. Sherry wants David to wait on talking about the Keith situation. The mochas are ready. So David goes into the kitchen to have a mocha with Nicole. I guess it's been too long. The first 7 minutes in, there is a hair on the screen. It's a hair or a string. When they show Nicole on that one frame, why? But thankfully, it's only on that one shot. Praise Jack Bauer. Nicole and David have coffee. She's super peppy, excited about the results, the direction everything's going. It's very happy and excited and all that jazz music. David was going to bring up the sitch, but decided not to because she was in a good mood. Okay, we did some shifting. Jack is outside of the police station. Calls Nina, who's at her desk. The lockdown's over. So he's like, get in contact with Ryan Seeley and then let him know I need an override. But Nina goes to do that, but remember, Nina's access got cut. Previously, they never fixed it. So Nina, instead of going to Jamie for some reason, goes to Tony to get Ryan Seeley's number. Tony's just like, are you mad I put us on lockdown? Why do you trust him so much? He's lying to us, like nonstop. That's all he does is lie. And she's just like, whatever.
Do you have the number?
He gives her the number. She goes back to her desk. Jack's at the police station. He's inside. He needs to talk to the guy immediately. And they don't want to change any booking protocol. They can't do it, but he's working a federal case. So, come on, he's important, right? So he's like, fine. He convinces him, fine. Bring him to room 2. He is in room 2. He's just about to swipe the card to let Jack into interrogation room 2. But then...
Hold it, Sergeant.
Mason shows up and stops him dead in the tracks. The music sting when they just stare at each other is so funny. Dan and Rick are driving in their fun van that I never got a picture of because the one that came was terrible quality. You could not tell it was a van. I don't know why it came out so bad. But they're driving. Let's imagine. Rick is very mad that they gave Kim the Gaines, and Dan's like, whatever, bro, why don't you go help your girlfriend earlier or something? Dan's just like, whatever, man. We all know he's not letting her go. She saw everyone's face. No chance, Lance, okay? So let's just get her 10K and move on with our lives, okay? How about that? Mason is talking to Jack. We're still in the police station. Duh, we're in a separate room that I didn't get a picture for. Mason's like, what are you doing, bud? Why'd you kill Walsh? And
Why would I kill the only ally at the agency that I've got?
You tell me.
Mason brings up the dirty agents that Jack put away and that he tried to blackmail him a few hours ago. I love that they keep hammering in like, yo, how dare you take care of the bad people that work with us? Haha, you bastard, you're the bad guy, obviously. He also said, why did you try to blackmail me? And George, if you happen to remember correctly, Jack successfully blackmailed you. He got all the info, and, he also shot you in the leg with a tranq gun. And Jack's like, you held information.
I was following orders.
I'm like, someone in this room. And Jack's just like, hey, dummy, Walsh and Baylor died getting this information. So this is related to the Palmer hit. It's important. It's all important. It's not just for fun.
How do you want to play this?
And Mason's like, I'll talk to him, not you, okay?
Just sit down, relax.
Gaines is driving. It's nighttime. Kim's in the back, taped up. Stops at a red light. Kim starts kicking at the window because there's a truck right next to her and he wants to get some attention. Gaines puts a stop to it, and it's totally a toy gun, obviously.
Stop, please.
But at least he did say please. So the light goes green, he cuts right in front of another car, parks inside, and puts Kim in the trunk. Kim is now in the trunk. David calls Maureen and is like, hey, let's meet up and have a chit-chat. Huh? How about that? Since you're also in the same building, let's meet a few floors down, and let's have a chat in person. Alan and Terry are in the hallway, kind of waiting, getting interviewed by a cop, talking about the furniture store and how Dan was linked to the furniture store and everything that happened, and Terry gets a call from Jack. Jack asks about Janet. And it's like, hey, we got to talk to her. Like, really? Like, we seriously have to talk to her. Nothing's changed since the last 5 minutes when we needed to talk to her. So I'm going to bring it up again. He has this person that might know something about Kim, but he doesn't know yet. But he's still going to bring it up for some reason, even though he has zero information except that it's a maybe. And Mason walks back in, does not look thrilled, and is just like, he only wants to talk to you. And Jack's just like, well, can I go talk to him then? Okay, we're now going to officially name him. He is Pentecoff. Yeah, he exists now. Jack goes into the room, other side of the two-way glass, like there always is in an interrogation room. He's like, listen, there's all these people listening to us too. So he sits right next to him and he's just like,
Self-defense. You guys are chasing me.
and then immediately puts hands on him, throws him against the wall, and does like this over-the-mouth thing. It's very fun. And then he gets dragged out. Pentecoff's like, I want to make my phone call. That's not how he talks, but in my head, that's how he talks. And Mason's just like, great job. Great job. What's your plan next?
Great job.
So they give Pentecoff his phone call. He pulls a little piece of paper out of his mouth, and it has Jack's phone number on it, so he calls Jack. How did Jack think of this so quickly? It is so damn fast. And how is he so on board with it, too? He's like, hey, I'm going to attack you and put this piece of paper in your mouth. All right, make sure the ink doesn't melt. Does ink melt? Call Mythbusters. Someone call Mythbusters. Thank you. Pentecoff calls Jack, and it's like, you need to get me out. I have a call that I need to get in 20 minutes, and if I don't answer that call, you will never get your daughter back. Okay? You need to get me out of here ASAP. So, with that, Jack hangs up on him, which is very nice, I guess. Jack calls Nina, as I need a trace, gives Pentecoff's name, information, and around the location, she finds a payphone. in the vicinity of where they were, ready to trace when they get over there. Also, one thing that I thought was funny is Nina can set up a trace without access? Interesting. So Jack's just like, I need to see him again. Runs into the dead cop's partner, Phillips, and he's just like, the only way to get in is through me, because I have the card, and the only way to go in is with me, or don't go in at all. So he takes Jack in to the room, and Pentecost's like, I don't want to talk to him. No. And Jack just immediately puts his hands on him. So Phillips grabs him off, and Jack just starts yelling at Phillips. Where were you when your partner got killed, huh? How about them apples? Jack just starts scuffling with everyone. Gets dragged out. Pentecost's like, what is wrong with this guy? Everyone's just like, dude, what is wrong with you? But they don't do anything to him, even though he literally attacks a cop in a police station. He just kind of gets put in timeout in a different room with nobody. And they don't even like lock him in. There's like, here you go, have a seat, bud. Meanwhile, Alan says, forget this to a cop and gets arrested, LOL. Back to Pentecost, who's in the room. He now has the key card, so he can get out. And he uses the key card, and because I guess Jack stirred up everyone, there's no cops around. You would think someone that just killed a cop would have security around their room, but I guess not. I guess one little kerfuffle and everything's scattered in the wind. David meets up with Maureen, and David's just like, look, our history, we go back, what's going on, why are you doing this to me? And Maureen's just like, this is about murder, I don't care about history. This is way more serious than all that bullshit. David's just like, can you at least give me your 2 sources? And she's just like, I should not, but sure I will, I guess, for some reason. First source, George Ferragamo, as mentioned previous episode. That was Keith's therapist for 4 years. And number 2, Lyle Gibson was the actual person that was thrown out of said window after, committing acts of bad. Autopsy shows signs of a struggle. David's just like, yeah, of course, that's because of the thing. And she said, within the hour, another boy the same age checked into a hospital with similar injuries, only 1 block away. So she had the signature analyzed because the name was redacted. So she had the signature analyzed by a specialist, and it is your son's signature. How about that, apples? And David's just like, do what you have to do, but be prepared for the consequences.
You do what you have to do, Maureen. Just be prepared to accept the consequences.
Which is pretty terrifying coming from him, just saying. Maureen, I imagine, leaves, goes back to her room. David goes into Keith's room while he's sleeping, turns the light on, pulls a chair up, and just immediately asks, do you ever have contact with Lyle after what happened with your sister? Let's just leave that in the past. How about that? And David's like, I wish I could, but I cannot because of what's happening right now. I want every detail that happened that night. He's just like, no dice, I will not. And I don't think you have a right to ask me that because something happened and I had to deal with it because no one else would. David just like spider jumps on top of him and yells, where is he?
Will answer me.
But then realizes what he's doing and backs off and leaves. Mason to the cops is just like, sorry about Bauer, he totally sucks, whatever, my bad. And Phillips walks in, he's like, okay, I'm going to start processing this boner. And then the guy in charge is like, no, what are you talking about? You clocked out like 5 minutes ago. So he's like, oh, my card's missing, LOL. So they all run out. Terry and Alan are still talking. Terry's like, I said some things I regret. I was mad at Kim, and I shouldn't have said that stuff. And then, again, after they get out of that scene, there is another thing on the lens.
I actually had the thought that I'd be...
Are you with me? What is happening?
Well, I just hope it's going to be that easy. I don't know about that, but I don't know why wasn't she with Janet? It doesn't make any sense.
I feel like Brody from Mallrats with the kid going back on the escalator.
That kid is back on the escalator again. Leave it alone. What?
No one is giving a about it. What the hell? This whole scene, there's something there, and I can't, and they're talking, and yeah, I can't hear anything they're saying. I cannot hear it. And why is it always on Terry? That makes no sense. What are you doing, Terry? What are you doing? Character development who? Because all I see is that goddamn thing on the screen. But yeah, at the end, Alan's gonna stay with Terry until they find Kim. So yeah, nice guy. Thanks, bud. Don't have a hair on your screen, but thanks. Mason is using the fancy CTU technology to find Jack and Pentecost. They're using a satellite. So with the satellite, they get them running to the car, getting in the car, and driving away. You would assume that when they ran to the car and got in, they would drive away and you could start going. They literally sat there and watched them do the whole thing. Now that we see this happen, so they are both in Jack's car. Mason's still back at the police station. They arrive, and Jack is like dragging him, kinda. And there's this like stream of water come. Jack almost drags him right through that. So then they get to the payphone. Nina is ready to go, locked in on this payphone, and it starts ringing. But it's clearly not the payphone, because if you've heard a payphone ring sound, you know that's not a payphone ring sound. It's a cell phone hidden underneath. Pentecoff answers the cell phone. It's Gaines. Behind the payphone is a set of keys. The keys go to a car. In that car is a body. I need you to take care of that body. Okay, bud? Bye. And Jax is like, whose body is that?
Whose body is in the trunk?
I don't know.
So they both find the car. They pop the trunk. There's a bunch of industrial plastic in there and a body. And Jack just starts pawing at it, like instantly, like putting his hands on everything. Jack's fingerprints have to be over so many crime scenes right now. It's ridiculous. Just then, of course, Mason pulls up and is like, I got you, Jack. Jack's just like using our own satellites against us, huh? Interesting.
They're using our own satellites against us.
But this is another clue about the bomber hit. We need to figure out whose body this is. I had to break him out, and we need to know. This was the only way I was able to get it.
You're having quite a night here, aren't you, Jack?
Actually, George, it's been 5 hours. And, yeah, quite the 5 hours, I might add. So Jack just finally spills it to Mason. There are people in the agency that are supporting the hit on Palmer. And Mason's like, what? That's why Walsh and Baylor got killed. And I'm sorry. I thought you were in on it too, but I guess you're just a dick. And you're gonna have to trust me. And for the first time since the show started, they're on the same side. Wow! So they leave. Jack gets in the car with the body. We're gonna pretend it's that. Calls Nina. Like, get ready for a body. We gotta ID it fast or Rooney, okay? Then Jack calls Terry. Hey, it's me.
Hey, it's me.
And don't worry about it. I'll be there in 20 minutes to explain everything. Dan and Rick are waiting. Gaines pulls up. See Kim kind of pop her head out of the car. And Rick is like, gosh, if it's okay with you, I'd like to get paid now. So can we do that, please? Gaines asks again about Janet because he heard someone that fits her description was just brought to the hospital recently. And Dan's just like, maybe she wasn't quite dead, lol. Gaines, not having it at all.
There's no such thing as sorta dead.
And Gaines shows him that by shooting him in the face. Yep.
Let me show you. But
Rick gets promoted. He's literally like, he just got a promotion. Congratulations.
congratulations.
Gaines walks away. Let me show all the characters. 5 a.m. That's this episode of 24. Thank you for watching. I'd like to thank my patrons for dealing with my bullshit. And check out my live streams. We're doing the wheel of crappy games based on movies. There's a few goodies, but most of them are pure garbage. So come watch me spin the wheel and join my misery. And with that, I'll see you, Bauer heads, next Friday. Oh, Underworld. Yeah, this is literally why we're taking games off the wheel after a spin. The second stick kind of works, but also it doesn't. I guess this is the reason why no one talked about this game. Remember they used to make a game off of every movie that would come out? This is why they stopped. Is that a wooden spoon on the ground? Collect. Oh, it was a key. It looked like a wooden spoon. Someone worked really hard on this one guitar riff. Oh, that's fun. Oh.